Kidversations, small voices, big stories.
What's poppin'? Welcome back to another episode of Kidversations, and today we have the CEO of Paramount Theater in Bristol. Welcome, Bill Fletcher.
Thank you, Charleston. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you for coming. So, before we get to you being the CEO of the Paramount Theater, let's start with what led up to that. So, what was your childhood like?
So, I grew up here in the mountains, splitting my time between a 200-acre dairy farm in Nicholsville, Virginia, out in the country, and an 8-acre farm in Hawkins County.
Yeah.
And so on the dairy farm, we had 60 head of Holstein cattle that we had to milk twice a day.
That's a lot of cows.
We had about 150 head of beef cattle. And we would ride horses and ride motorcycles up in the mountain and move the cattle around. And we raised all the food for all the animals and ourselves.
Oh my gosh.
We never went to the grocery store. We couldn't make it. We didn't have it.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how I grew up. And then I went to East Tennessee State University, where I studied mass communications and political science and classical political thought.
Yeah.
And I was also the editor of the newspaper.
Ooh, nice.
At the campus newspaper called the East Tennessean. And then I became a reporter at the Johnson City Press Chronicle, which is a daily newspaper still. I think they just call it the Press now, but back in the day, it was called the Press Chronicle.
Back when the dinosaurs were still in them.
There were dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Nashville after I graduated from ETSU.
Nice. So, when you were in Nashville, what were you doing in Nashville?
So first I was a reporter and a photographer for a daily newspaper there called the Nashville Banner. And then I left there and I started my own business. And it was a strategic communications company, which means I would do strategy and the research. And then I would make television commercials and build websites and make radio commercials and help people and businesses communicate about themselves and their companies.
Okay. So, when did you move back to here, Bristol, and why?
So, I sort of ramped my business down. I was still doing some consulting. I had worked in Australia and China and Europe and Africa.
So you traveled.
I did a lot. And I was still doing some consulting in Africa and then with some of my other clients, but I was winding that down and I moved back to Bristol, honestly, just to be close to my mother, who's 88 years old and still going strong.
Yeah.
And my brother lives here. And I've got relatives in every holler and creek up here.
Nice.
Lots of cousins and uncles and aunts all over the mountain empire.
Yeah.
So that's why I moved back here.
How did you become the CEO of Bristol Paramount Theater?
Thank you. Good question. So I moved up here and I had no intention of working. I had worked very hard my whole life.
Yeah.
And
kick your feet back.
Yeah, exactly. Kick back. And we bought a really old home. It was built in 1913.
Nice.
And I spent a year working with the people that helped us fix the house up, and we built a big deck on it and some other stuff, growing grass and cleaning it up. And then a friend of mine mentioned me to one of the board members at the Paramount, and that board member approached me and asked me if I'd be willing to do some work with the Paramount. I wasn't really looking for a job.
Yeah.
And so what I agreed to do was I did a 60-day study of the Paramount. I looked at their finances. I interviewed all the staff. I interviewed all the board members. I talked to people in the community. And I wrote them a report at no charge, telling them what I saw.
And what they needed to improve on?
Exactly. And then, but in the course of that, I just fell in love with the theater.
Yeah.
It's been there since 1931. It's just such a beautiful place,
Yeah.
so much history. And by the end of that time, I got interested in actually working with them, and they wanted to work with me. So we were able to come together, and I became the chief executive officer.
Nice. At your theater, the Paramount, do you do like only plays? I know you do movies. So do you do like plays too?
The Paramount is a performing arts center,
Mm-hmm.
and the theater is part of that. And we have other venues and assets there. So we do theatrical performances, plays, ballet, dance.
Nice.
We do modern dance. We do rock and roll shows, pop music shows, country music shows, surprising number of comedians.
Mm-hmm.
And so we try to provide things for the whole community.
Yeah.
And one thing a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know about the Paramount until I started working there, is the Paramount is at the center of a lot of the other not-for-profits, arts not-for-profits in Bristol and beyond,
Mm-hmm.
because they come and perform at the Paramount.
Nice.
So part of our mission is to protect and preserve the Paramount so that the Bristol Ballet, King University, Theater Bristol, Symphony of the Mountains, they all perform at our theater.
Mm-hmm.
And so part of our job is to make sure we have the Paramount in good shape so that we can put on any kind of show.
That's awesome.
And we have a really super talented staff.
Mm-hmm.
And we have an unusual thing at the Paramount. So everybody can see the stage.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't know is above that is a space just as big as the stage, and that's called the fly system.
Yeah.
And that's where the curtains go. So when the curtains go up, they go up into the rafters.
That's cool. Yeah.
And that's the movie screen can come down. We have all the lights and all the audio and all the sound and everything. And our technical people, they set up the theater for all of these different kinds of performances.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why the other not-for-profits, they don't have a facility like the Paramount. And they would end up performing other places like school gymnasiums. Not the best place for a theatrical production or a music production. So we work very closely with the other not-for-profits.
My theater that I act at, our theater is like small and we don't have any space like yours. So I'll have to ask if we can do a play at the Paramount.
Sure. What is your theater?
Jonesboro Repertory Theater.
Yeah, I would love to talk to them. Invite me over there and I'll come over and talk, and maybe we can put on a show at the Paramount.
Yes.
How long have you been acting?
For 3 years. Wait, no. Yeah. 3.5, something like that. Yeah.
I've seen some of your stuff. I think you're very talented.
Thank you.
So, and we have a booking agent, and then we have our own staff that works on booking. And one thing that not a lot of people know is what we try to do is, let's say a band is going to be playing in Chattanooga or Knoxville or Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then we see where they're going to be playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, or elsewhere up north. We'll call their agent and say, you're going to drive right by the Paramount. Why don't you stop in here and make some money instead of just driving by?
Yeah.
And that's how we book a lot of our shows.
Nice. I'm neighbors with a Grammy winner. Have you ever had Trey Hensley do a show at the Paramount?
I have not.
You haven't? I have to tell him.
Yeah, hook me up with Trey. Yeah, I need to talk to him. He's won a Grammy?
Yeah, he won a Grammy for Bluegrass, yeah.
Well, we love bluegrass at the Paramount, and people around here love bluegrass music. Yeah.
He also won an award for I don't know, but it was the best guitar player in the world. He can go really fast.
Well, good. I need to meet this fella.
Yes,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That'd be great.
Yeah. You said you were going like international. You went international for your business, like in Nashville. Do you go international for the Paramount?
Not for the Paramount, although we had an international show there a couple of weeks ago. We had this group called Leonid and Friends, and they're all from Russia. But they live in the U.S. now, and they have I don't know if you know the band Chicago. It's a very famous kind of rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And they do a tribute to Chicago, and it always sells out every time they come to the Paramount. So yes, I was fortunate enough to work in other countries. In Australia, I worked for the government of South Australia. They had built a big port down there, and I put together a strategy for how to get the U.S. Navy to use their port for repairs, provisions. You know, when these ships are out at sea, they have to come in for fuel, food,
And
rest for the cruise, and they can do that in Adelaide.
nice.
And in China, I worked on a project to take coal from our mountains here into China.
Nice.
And then, but a lot of the work I did was in Africa. I was an advisor to 3 different presidents there. Laurent Kabila was the president of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Then I worked with John Mahama, who's now the president of Ghana.
Nice.
And I worked with Joseph Boakai, who is now the president of Liberia.
Nice. Yeah.
And I love Africa. It's so beautiful, and it can be dangerous. And so don't go to the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Okay.
It's a dangerous place right now. There's a war going on there.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed travel. Do you know who the writer Mark Twain is? Have you ever heard of Mark
I heard
Twain?
his name, yeah.
He had a great quote that I love. He said, "Travel expands the mind, and it never resumes its original shape."
Yeah.
And I can attest to that because my travel in other parts of the world expanded my mind about other people and how they live. And I've gone into the bush in Africa, and not just the cities. I traveled all across different parts of Africa, and the same for Europe.
Yeah.
I like going into small towns and big cities and see how other people live, the food, and just what their customs are. So it's really enriched my life to be able to travel to other places.
Yeah. So how many continents have you been to, and how many countries have you been to?
So I've been to 5 continents.
Ooh.
And the only one I haven't gone to yet is the easiest one to get to. It's South America.
Yeah.
It's a shame, isn't it?
And Antarctica.
I haven't gone to Antarctica, but I have figured out how to go. You know, they don't have hotels down there.
No.
But I have figured out a way. So first I'm going to go to Brazil and Argentina in South America and enjoy their food and culture.
Yeah.
And then I've figured out a way to get to Antarctica so I can check off all 7 continents.
Yeah. So does the international experiences that you've experienced affect your work, like work?
It really has and did. Learning about other cultures, the one thing about America is we have people here from all parts of the world.
Yeah.
And understanding those people and where they come from and their life and their lifestyles, I always found that to be really helpful to me. Plus, you just learn so much, and you see how other cultures communicate. Not everyone is the same, you know? You have to think about, if you're trying to reach everybody through your television commercial or your radio commercial or your website, it helps to think that everybody's not just like you, that there's all different kinds of people there.
Yeah.
And so it's been very enriching to my life to travel to these other places. And a lot of times my wife likes to go with me. And I'll tell you one very real example. So a few years ago, I had to meet some clients at the Paris climate conference, big conference.
Yeah.
And my wife came with me, and we spent a few days in Paris.
Yeah.
And so we got there, it was at Christmas time. And I don't know how I became an adult and didn't know what a Christmas market was.
Yeah.
But overnight, so I got to Paris, and the next morning I got up, and there were thousands of white tents
Yeah.
set up on the roads. And vendors came in there, and it was a Christmas market.
Yeah.
And so people would come to the city and just walk around these tents, and there'd be some guy roasting meat over here, and there'd be candy over here, and there'd be fruit over here, and people would be playing music. It's the most wonderful thing I'd ever experienced.
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, we went to Central Europe, and we went to Croatia and Hungary and Vienna and Prague just to see their Christmas markets.
Yeah.
And I just had a meeting in Bristol the other day.
Nice.
And I took all my photographs I had of these Christmas markets. And I said, we should do this in Bristol. We should have a Christmas market.
That'd be awesome.
We know how to roast meat around here, you know? That we do that all the time.
Yeah.
And you have craftspeople and you have musicians. Why not?
Exactly.
Let's have a Christmas market. So that's something I'm looking into. And I got the idea
from Paris.
From Paris. Yeah.
That's nice. Awesome.
So that's a great example, I think, of how if you're open to new experiences and travel, you can bring it home with you.
Yeah.
And it stays with you all the time.
Nice.
Everything that happened in my life, starting on the farm, going to ETSU, working for the newspapers, all of those things helped me become a good communicator. And at the end of the day, that's what I like doing. I love making films. I love making TV commercials. I loved writing. I love photography. Yeah. And I just figured out a way to make money on that.
Nice. So, and a little bit ago, you said that you didn't want to do anything when you moved back to Bristol. Are you happy about how your life turned out when you moved back?
I'm really happy that I've ended up at the Paramount. I'm surprised myself how much I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I played so much golf, I gave myself tendinitis. It was like having a job. I just played golf all the time. Yeah. And I enjoy golf more now because I have a job. I know that seems weird, but we had a really busy couple of weeks, and I took some time off on Monday.
Yeah.
And I joined up with some friends of mine who play golf almost every day, and I enjoyed playing a round of golf with them. So I enjoy the golf more when I've been working.
Yeah. Did you win?
Well, I'm not sure you call it winning, but I did okay.
Yeah.
I did okay.
Yeah.
It's like 13 guys out there.
Oh,
so
my.
A lot of people played, yeah.
So who is the public of the Paramount Theater?
Depending on the show, we serve all different parts of the community. So when we have shows that feature children, like Bristol Ballet, those audiences tend to be whole families.
Yeah.
Mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, their kids, they all come as a group to the theater. When we have a rock and roll show, that's a different audience.
Yeah.
And we do our marketing, so we make sure we reach that different audience. Then around here, people are really, they love country music. They love bluegrass music and folk music. So that is even more of a different audience. But one thing I think people don't know about the Paramount is we draw from a very wide area. A pretty significant portion of the people who come to our shows come from Asheville, North Carolina.
Nice.
Morgan Wade, who's an artist who grew up here, she had a Christmas show last December. And I spoke to 2 carloads of people who drove here from Indianapolis just to go to a show at the Paramount. The other night, we had the Bellamy Brothers, which is kind of an old-time country act, been around a long time. And there was a big group of people that drove here from Atlanta.
Oh, my. That's like an hour, 2 hours. Wait, that's like 5 hours.
Yeah, it's like a 5-hour drive. And they come here and stay in hotels. and eat meals at restaurants here, go to the show. It's one of the interesting things I've learned about the Paramount since I've been there. On an annual basis, every year, the Paramount Theater has a $6.4 million impact on the economy. And so the way we calculate that is our own budget that we spend to pay for our staff and keep up the building. And then there's the audience that comes and sees the show.
Yeah.
And so the study shows that every person who comes to a show at the Paramount spends about $38, not including the ticket.
Oh.
So they might stay at a hotel, they might buy gas, they certainly go to restaurants and eat.
Yeah.
And so we want people to understand that we are a really important part of the economy.
Yeah.
And that we help drive growth of the economy.
Can I have some money?
Yeah, sure. Sure, you just got to come and do a play for me.
Yes, sir. Okay. So you said people come from all over to come to the Bristol Paramount Theater. What about like the local people? Do you think they play a more part in like supporting than the people that come from far away?
The local people in Bristol, Kingsport, Johnson City, that's our bread and butter.
Yeah.
They are the most important to us. And they support this theater and they love this theater. In 1980, the theater closed.
Oh, wow.
And it was weeks away in 1988 from being torn down and turned into a parking lot.
What?
But the local community here gathered together and they raised money and they saved and rebuilt the Paramount Theater.
That's awesome.
So I think of that every day about how important local people are to us. And I want people to know that I did some research, and if you wanted to build the Paramount Theater today, start from scratch, just a piece of dirt, and put all the seats in, all the equipment, and everything that we have in there. The estimate is it would cost between $31 and $45 million to build the Paramount Theater.
That's a lot of cheddar.
Yeah, and that's why we have to take care of it. We have to protect it. We just launched a new program called Paramount Insider, where everyday people, not rich people, just everyday people, for $10 a month, you can become a Paramount Insider. And you get $5 off every ticket you buy. So if you buy 2 tickets in a month, you pay for your membership. You get free popcorn when you purchase a beverage when you come to the show.
Nice.
A lot of benefits. And you get to vote on upcoming shows.
Actually,
so we're going to send you lists of these are the people we're thinking about. What do you think? Because we want the local community to feel a sense of ownership of the Paramount Theater, because that's certainly how we think about them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's awesome. Who came up with that idea?
Well, there's a lot of us. I got everybody around a table, and we did research on what other theaters do. And I think there's a lesson there for young people. When I first started thinking about this, I didn't know how to put together a program like this. So I did the research and I talked to other people and I took the best ideas from other theaters. And then our staff got really involved and we came up with what we thought would be a package that people would like.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. People are joining up and I think one of the things, people love being asked their opinion.
Yeah.
And I think they're excited to see what artists, and they're going to be able to vote for their artists that they want to see come to the Paramount.
Nice. That's awesome. What was your favorite thing that ever happened at the Paramount?
One of the most amazing stories that I've learned, there's a woman, she's still around and she still comes to the theater. Her name was Mary Beth Raniero. And in the late 1989, she was one of the leaders who came together to save the Paramount.
Mm-hmm.
And she attracted a lot of other people. She was a
Yeah.
dynamo, still is a dynamo. And she did such a great job. She went to the state of Tennessee and got $1 million challenge grant from the state of Tennessee. But the trick was they had to raise $1 million locally.
Mm-hmm.
And even school children got involved with their pocket change. And people gave $5 and $10 and $100, and then more and more people got involved.
Yeah.
And they raised $1.3 million. And this is in 1990 money.
Mm-hmm.
And they got the challenge grant.
It's like $5 million
And
today.
exactly. Man, you did that in your head. That's quite impressive, young fella.
Thank you.
The cost to rebuild the Paramount in 1991 was $4.8 million.
Oh my gosh.
All
That's
raised
a lot of money.
by school children and people who just care about the Paramount.
Nice.
And that's probably one of my favorite stories I've learned since I've been here. We had a show the other night that's called Beatles versus Stones.
Yeah.
So it had these two bands, and one band looked and sounded just like the Beatles, and one band looked and sounded just like the Rolling Stones. And the Beatles would play a set, and then the Stones would come out and play a set. But at the end, they all came out and played a big song together.
Nice.
And it's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen on stage. Our lighting was beautiful. The sound was awesome.
Yeah.
And they actually put two songs together. They took a Rolling Stones song called Satisfaction and a Beatles song called Day Tripper. And they sort of jammed them together.
Yeah.
And it was, I'd never heard anything like that in my life. It was fantastic.
It was great.
It was great. And then I saw, we had a comedian in town. His name is Craig Ferguson. He used to have a TV show, a late night television show, and it was one of my favorite shows. I got to go sit in a theater like everybody else and see him perform his stand-up act as a comedian. And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed that. I enjoy the Theater Bristol performances. They did this year. They're doing The Wizard of Oz.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, excuse me, that's Bristol Ballet. They're doing a ballet.
Yeah.
The Theater Bristol is going to be doing Grease, which is a really famous movie and a stage play. But so they're doing it as a play called Grease. They'll have 9 performances over a 3-week period. And then this December, Theater Bristol will be putting on It's a Wonderful Life, which is another very popular Christmas time show.
Do you like pay the people who perform on the stage?
They wouldn't play if we didn't pay them. They do this for a living, and yeah, so we negotiate with them, and but yeah, it's a substantial amount of money when we bring a band into town, and yeah, they get paid pretty well.
Nice.
To come to the Paramount.
So how can people become Paramount Insiders, and how can they become like just a part of the Paramount community?
All you do is you go to our website, which is paramountbristol.org, and there'll be a big blue button there that says Become an Insider. And you can just fill it out there, and it's very simple. And I'm really grateful that a lot of people have already started doing that, because we know that, you know, these are kind of tough times for some people. So we wanted to do something that would be a good value, but also they can feel good about supporting the Paramount.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have a way where just anybody could do that. And you know, most people aren't going to miss $10 a month. But we're very sensitive to the fact that these are some tough economic times, and you know, expenses are high. So I wanted something that was really affordable. Before, they had a program where you had to pay $120 a year.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same as 10 a month, but we didn't have an option for them to pay 10 a month. So now it's like, okay, not everybody can cough up $120, but almost everybody could become a member and
Yeah.
a Paramount Insider. And you get a special bumper sticker that I'll send you in the mail. Yeah, it's going to say, I'm a Paramount Insider. I thought that would be funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think that's about all the questions I have. Would you like to say anything to the camera before you leave?
I want to say something to you, and I want to say something to the other kids that might be watching. When I was in high school, I had a teacher, and that teacher got me interested in photography. And he built a dark room at the school, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Little did I know that would become my life.
Yeah.
And I have been taking pictures and writing stories. Now I'm 67 years old.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this since I was 12 or 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And so what I want to tell you and what I would tell to your audience, especially the children, is look for new experiences, because you never know when you do something as a child, you're going to find something you're passionate about. You're going to find something you're interested in.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're here doing a podcast, and it's going to end up on the internet. The internet wasn't even a thing when I was growing up. And you don't know where this is going to lead. But to children, I would say read books, travel, even if you just travel to another state.
Yeah.
Even if you just read books about other places. When I was growing up, we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
You know, we ate like kings because we lived on this farm.
Yeah.
We didn't have cash money. And so I traveled by reading books.
Yeah.
And so that's what made me want to travel later in my life.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to go see these places that I had read about. So what I would encourage you to do and your audience to do is pay attention.
Yeah.
If you find something you enjoy, there's a job in it.
Yeah.
There's a career in it. Maybe you start your own business. Maybe you end up working for somebody else. And but you can find a way to live a great life.
Yeah.
And you just never know what little thing you're going to read or do or see that's going to set you on fire.
Yeah.
And make you want to do a thing for the rest of your life. I was lucky. I was fortunate. I found something I love to do.
Yeah.
And I'm still doing it today at the Paramount, just in a slightly different setting.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to pay attention in your classes, read, think, and look for what your future is going to bring.
Yes.
And I think you're going to have a great future.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. It's been very interesting learning about your past and your future at the Paramount Theater.
Thank you very much, Charleston.
Welcome. And thank you. And remember, we have a new episode out every Friday at 6 p.m. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Kidversations, small voices, big stories.